Good afternoon, everyone. This is Robin Carter again out of Flower Mound, Texas, to share my second video of alternates using the August 2022 Sweet Sunflower Paper Pumpkin Kit. I want to give a special thank you to all my subscribers, and if you are new to my channel and find me, I would really appreciate you subscribing. As I mentioned in my last video, I'm looking to hopefully get to 1,000 by the end of September. So if you are not subscribed and you can help me by subscribing to help reach that goal, I would greatly appreciate it. So today I have some alternates to share. Now I've used all my materials because I couldn't decide which one of these I like better. So I'm going to walk you through how I did those. So this card, I'm using the one card here on this right hand side. So this is how it's pretty much intended to be made. I moved the sentiment down because I didn't want to cover up the flowers there and did not include the Blackberry Bliss piece, but I just put some gold twine behind it. So, but my alternates for this are here. So I'm going to walk you through how I did each of these. I made them all a little different so you can decide which one of these you want to make yours or make one of each one to have a variety of cards. So let me start out by saying the first thing I did was take the base, obviously cut it in half so I have the back side, and then cut this front piece in half. So that leaves you with these. So you can see that's kind of the bottom half, but I turned it this way because I wanted it, to me it looked like better that the flower was growing that way. So let me start with this one. Okay, so once again I used my, let me find the die, so I say the right name, the Stitched Greenery die. And I did this on a Mossy Meadow background that's 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then I matted this piece, which is, I believe is 4 by 2.75, is half. And then I matted it with a piece of white that's 4 1/4. Actually, that's 4 1/4. Let me just measure to make sure. Yes, that's 4 1/4. So my mat is 4 1/2 by 3. And so that's how I did that. Now, this leaf comes from a coordinating set in the annual Stampin' Up catalog. That's the sunflower stamp set. So if you have this bundle, you can create even bigger sunflowers. And there's a smaller one here with leaves already attached. And of course the coordinating dies to cut those out. There's also this gorgeous detail sunflower, and I've just done one in white to show you what it looks like, that actually fits over this flower here. And I'm trying to remember which ones I look at to line them up. Let me see if I can refigure this out. I think it's this one that goes, there's 1, 2, 3 that go kind of that way, and I think they're right here. Well, actually, it's not going to match because the images on this sheet are 90%. So it's not showing the full image, but that's how it would line up if that were the full image. So it makes great sunflowers, very detailed sunflowers. So, but I really liked this leaf that's in the die set, and so I wanted to add it there. So that's what I did there. Now, if you run out of your honeycomb vellum, I had a great suggestion. It's not quite, cut out, but we do have the Hive 3D embossing folder, and I don't have that with me. And I just took a piece of scrap vellum and embossed it with that honeycomb 3D embossing folder, and then I kind of just cut around the little honeycombs to put this here. So that's just a suggestion if you want some more honeycombs. This is that old retired punch that I have called the Artisan Punch, so I just used it for simplicity of creating another label. So that is that one. Now on the second one that I used for this, I wanted to kind of flip the color scheme. So rather than the mossy meadow background, I did white, and I matted it in mossy meadow instead of white. So I kind of flipped it around. And then, of course, I wanted to use up some of my butterflies. So, not butterflies, my sunflowers here. So I thought adding that there was a great add. And then again, I did some of that fussy cutting of the honeycomb 3D embossing folder. And then with the white background, this leaf stood out a little better, I thought. But whichever one you like, or one of each. This one's kind of clean and white, and this one's very deep and colorful. So I do have a tip on the bees. So I have my two little bees on my little block here, stuck with a piece of ribbon. So when you go to color your leaves, let me just get this is my scrap shipping label that we have. I would use black Memento ink, and I have it in my drawer. Let me get that out. Okay, so I would stamp them in Memento. Okay. And I really like the little stamp. I think they're cute little bees. Okay, so for the wings, I took my black, I'll get it out here, watercolor pencil, and just lightly, very lightly, just kind of go over it to give them some detail. So I did it a little heavier there because it's on not a white background, but a darker background. So like that. And then my bees, you can either take a blender pen and use your inks in the kit. I have the markers of crushed curry and soft suede. So I use those. And I just did the top and bottom with the crushed curry. My voice is going. Every time I think I'm about well from this COVID bit, something weird happens. And then I take the soft suede and put it in the middle. So that's how I colored the bees that I added to my card. Whoops. Okay, so there's both of them. Let me know if you like the mossy meadow background or the white background. Let me know which one you like better. And how do you like the honeycomb 3D embossing folder idea? So that's those two. Let me just put these in their envelope. Okay, so now, get rid of that. I'm on to the top half flower. So these are the two that I came up with for that. So this one, again, uses the mossy meadow background, but I have the, let me find it over here, the True Beauty bundle that has the dies, and one of the dies is this big background lattice piece. So I really like how that added detail to this card. And then again, I traced the label and made my own and used the blending brush to color it. And then I took my bow punch, or I guess, how do you say that? Bow, probably, bow. Leaf punch, let's just call it that. And I punched out one in Mossy Meadow, and I did one in Vellum, just kind of to soften it up a bit. And I even used the little twig one right here in Vellum to go kind of with the sprigs there. So that's how I made that one. And then this one, again, is a more clean white background look. And I used the new Fern 3D embossing folder. And I'm going to turn this in different directions so you can kind of hopefully see the detail. But I really like this Fern 3D embossing folder on the white and how it just adds some dimension to your card. And I forgot to mention, I did put each of these panels on the card with dimensionals, so it would be raised up. So I, again, punched a Mossy Meadow and a Vellum leaf to put on here. And then let me show you an idea. So if you're out of honeycomb, there's a couple different things you may have in your stash that you could use for some vellum. And this is from the tulip fields. See this little die right there? Well, it doesn't cut around it. It cuts just the inside. But I just cut it off so that I had a little bit of vellum to add there. So what do you think about that? And then I added these on bees and some pearls to finish that one off. So those are my alternates for this full card here. And then I'm going to get to the other side in a second. But I just wanted to show you those first. And if you have any questions, it's pretty straightforward of how to create these. But if you have any questions, let me know in your comments below. Okay, now the back half of this card looks like, I think I have it over here. Oh, I did cut a lattice so you could see what it looks like, not on the card. And then I have a white stitched greenery piece just to show you. All right, so now I want to get to the other half of the card. So this is the first one I created last week. And I believe when I colored this one, I did the watercolor pencils. So it's a little lighter. Now granted, I could have used a little more pressure and made it darker. And then I took a butterfly from the Butterfly Brilliance rather than bees on this card. But today I was working on that and I wanted it to be a little more bold sunflowers, so I did watercolor those with pretty good strength of watercoloring. And then I added this die right here and I colored it. And it's from the coordinating set that's the Honeybee Home set. So here are the dies, my little template. And the stamp set should be over here too. I just have a bunch of stuff. Well, so there is a stamp set that actually has bees and a lot of nice flowers to them. But I thought this pretty much matched the little sprigs that were printed on the card. So as you can see here, I added one. So we're going to make this card. So I have a card base and the card back. I need to cut this down. So I'm going to cut this down to 5 3/8 and I'm going to cut off this side because the flowers aren't over there. Do that off screen. I've got enough stuff on my table. And then for the 4 1/8, I'm going to cut off the sky. Okay, so now we have our panel. And if you noticed here, I did a few stamps with that sprig stamp that's included with this month's kit. So let's add those. And I think I'm going to be more careful and put one there also this time. So I have doubled up my stamps on block. So let me take that one off so it's not confusing. And I'm going to use my Mossy Meadow pad. And using this as a, I'm going to take this off of that. Use this, my Stampin' Pierce mat for some cushion. And whatever I did with that piece of scrap paper that I showed you the bees on. Well, this will work. Okay, well, I don't want to use that actually. Here it is. The all colorful piece. All right, so, and of course I got it on my, I should put it on a smaller block and I wouldn't get ink all over. I'm going to go there and I'm going to go down this way. And then I'm going to come off the side here. And maybe do one going up that way. Just kind of add some greenery where you want some. Okay, so then I need to grab, so that's all the stamping actually on the card. So I'm going to adhere this to the card base. Let me feel to see which side's bigger, and I'm going to close this. The sun just went behind a cloud, so it made my room a little darker. All right. Just dots of glue on the card. Then I'm going to put it on my card base. And again, I'm going to rub it in. So it doesn't have any little spots of glue. And then let me grab all my little sunflower that I made earlier, like I said in my previous video. I have lots of these to go. Try to find dark ones. This one is a light one. This one I actually moved the stamp a little bit, and it kind of has a different color to it. We may have to make one. So in case you missed my last video, oh well, there's a dark one video. I did watercolor these with the watercolor brushes, and I use alcohol in them so that it dries faster, and then you can use it on just plain white paper, the thin paper, not necessarily the thick. So I put one of these down, well, with flat, kind of, but I have the petals raised up. So I want to go pretty low with this one. Okay, and then I wanted to stick the colored leaves. Now these I may run out of. We'll see. I want this one right in the corner. Okay, that's good. And then the second one I'm going to raise up on a dimensional, and I'm just going to use one whole bigger dimensional for this. Okay, I'm going to move him out there. And then I think I have one, there's 2 leaves in here colored already. And I watercolored these as well. So I'm going to stick that. I like that better with some more leaves there. And then, did I put a third? No, I could put a third one there to help cover up that gap. I'll do that real quick. So I think that's plenty. Now, you can tell me which one you like better. So this is the detailed butterfly cut from the Butterfly Brilliance bundle. And this is a stamped and then die cut that I colored. I colored that with the watercolor pencils. I think I used this Gorgeous Grape. That was the closest watercolor pencil we had. But this one I wanted to use a little detailed white one just to go there. And now I'm going to show you how I did this. So I die cut, oops, it's a flimsy little thing. So I die cut this, and it's a very fine die. So, and then I'm going to watercolor the leaves in green. If I can find my green watercolor brush. I just kind of have one dedicated to each color because I've been coloring these. It's yellow, probably be the last one I pull out over here. Okay, I think it's that one. That one's greenish for this one. Oh, I think this one. That's more green. So I have a laminated half of a grid sheet that I like to use when I do stuff like this. Now I have my green on a block, and again I'm just going to reactivate it with a drop of alcohol, and then I'm going to go along the leaf part and color the die cut. So I like doing that on these detailed dies, is just cutting it in white and then coloring it with whatever medium you choose. Now I'm having a little trouble not getting on that petal. So I just covered him up. Okay, so there's the green. And then I tried doing the same technique with my Blackberry Bliss here, but I wanted it darker. So if you don't have the blends, you can just keep applying and applying and applying. But I have the Blackberry Bliss blends, and I'm just using the dark one. I'm not going to try to do any shading or anything. And I just want to color these petals. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. It's hard not to get it on the greenery parts, but I'm gonna do my best. Might need to go in and get those with some green. The little branches. Am I on screen? I hope. Yes. It's a very dainty die. This one will be a little easier. He's bigger. You could use your blending brush on these if you have a blending brush and the inks. That might make them a little darker. So I need to go in with this green one again and get a few more spots. Let's hope I don't run the ink. Okay, so there's our leaf or our flower or whatever. And I'm going to put that, since there's nothing here, I'm going to put it on this side. So again, I'm just going to add some dots of glue on the big flower, some leaves to hold it down. I think it would be too hard to put this up on dimensionals. So that just adds a little bit of flower to this corner over here. Now I don't have another butterfly cut out. Where's my other one that has the colored butterfly? So you tell me which one you like better. And then I don't have any sentiments on here, but I can show you also how I did my other labels where I traced them and just have a white one. So then I took my blending brush, try to find a flat spot, and I picked up some yellow. I start off and then I just rub it on there in circles. I hope I'm not shaking the table. I know I tend to shake the table because my camera is attached. And let's see, I may have to reactivate that, but there's probably enough on my brush. And then I do the Blackberry Bliss, kind of like that. So I have a colored label. So I'll probably put those once I decide on what sentiment I want. Definitely here, there, and maybe even up a little bit on these because I don't want to cover up my flower that I made. But these cards also make just great cards for no sentiment, and I'm kind of getting into that. And that way you can write whatever the occasion is on the inside, and they have just a pretty decorated front side. So let me know which one of those butterflies you like better. Do you like the stamped butterfly or do you like the detail just in white? And that will be our cards for the other side of this card base right here. So I'll give you one more peek. Maybe if I can get them all again. I've gotten out quite a bit of stuff. There's kind of how it was intended. And then I cut these two apart. And don't forget to do your envelopes. So there are my alternates for that card. And I'm still working on the other card base as well as the envelopes. So be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss those when they come out. And give me your feedback on these. I really like comments. And be kind in the YouTube community with your comments, and give this video a thumbs up. So until I create with you again, thanks for joining me. Have a great day.